Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's market update is for Tuesday the 2nd of October 2012. Today we're going to be checking out the smp500 and we're going to take a look at the asx200 also. But before we do that, I've just got to remind everyone that aussiecharttrends.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm here just to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. Okay, so let's take a look at the charts. Here is the S&P 500 on a daily basis, and we can see that this green line here and this top green line here is acting as a fence for the S&P 500. We can't seem to get out of either side at the moment. However, we did see this little push up here, and that was on the Federal Reserve's speech about the QE3 announcement. And as you can see so far, QE3 announcement hasn't really boosted the markets on up, and we've come down. Now guys, we're really just waiting on this green line to break. And if we do get a break, well, we could expect that we will come down and probably tag around this area down here. Let's go take a look on the hourly chart and I'll explain what's going on here. In last weekend's update, I was talking about this large symmetrical triangle pattern that we had, and it broke down to the downside, but we still haven't seen that minimum expected target from this pattern. However, we've seen the market actually go up on a diagonal slope. Now when this happens, usually this has a bearish outcome. So we could expect when this line here breaks, the market should come back down. Now we do have a few areas of support here in the chart, one being this yellow line around the 1432 area, and we also have this blue ascending line to our wedge pattern. So we could expect that this line will actually get tagged because the measurement from the symmetrical triangle pattern is actually pointing to around this area. For the S&P 500, it is looking a little bit bearish at the moment, and we have to keep our eye on this blue line, because if it breaks, and when it breaks, we could expect probably a trip down to the 1400 area. With that in mind, let's go take a look at the asx200. Looking here on the hourly chart, we can see in today's trade we had a very bullish day, and we rallied on up. We got through two areas of resistance today, and we were able to head up to our third area of resistance and then close right on it. And I think they closed just above that area, so that's a very positive sign for the asx200. Now guys, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we came back down to this red line, or one of these areas of support. Reason being is we could be potentially looking at a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder with our little handle pattern here. Now if we measure the depth of this pattern and use this red line as our neckline, well, if we add this on to where the market broke out, you can see here clearly the market has a target all the way up to around the 4,480 area. But I would firstly expect that the market would come back down firstly, and then we would probably head on up to that target. And guys, it's not an uncommon thing for the market to come up and actually backtest the apex of a rising wedge pattern or an apex of a triangle pattern. In fact, I think I can show you on the S&P 500 with this symmetrical triangle after breaking down. We can see now that the market has rallied on up close to the apex of this triangle. So it wouldn't surprise me even if we had one more push up just to tag on this area. Now the reason being why we do have this happen is because the buying pressure and the selling pressure between here is an area of indecision. So when the market rallies on back up to this area, all the people that bought in this area here, in this middle section, are willing to sell at a no profit and a no loss situation. So I just thought I'd tell you guys about what symmetrical triangle patterns can do, and also rising wedge patterns. If we do eventually get up to this area on the asx200, well, that wouldn't surprise me at all for a back test of around this area. but I think the market has a ways to go yet as far as reaching that target. Now, overall, we're looking at the S&P 500. It's looking bearish. Our market, however, is breaking through resistance level after resistance level. If we take a quick look on the daily chart, we can see all the way back here in May of 2012. This is when I first started doing the videos, and I was actually calling for a double bottom formation where we had our first bottom here and our second bottom over here, and then the markets proceeded to rally on up. There was a lot of chart readers at the time saying, oh, this is the end of the planet and we're going to come down and break through all support areas, but I actually had a fairly bullish view around this area. Aside from that, this market has come up in a large rising wedge pattern, and then we've broken through all areas of resistance, this red line here. After slicing through our resistance area to the upside, we've come back down. We've had a perfect back test on all of our support areas, and then we've rallied on up again in another little rising wedge pattern. Then we've broken back down and back tested some really important levels, and then we've rallied on back up. The question remains, can we endure enough strength to get over this blue line up here? I've drawn a line over the top that we had here in May of 2008, and I've extended that over the area that we had there in April of 2011. Now, we can see that that area is now likely to be challenged in the near future if we keep going on up. The question remains, can we maintain this steam in the asx200, or is the S&P 500 going to give us a nice surprise? So I think at the moment, guys, the asx200 market is looking fairly healthy. Every time that we tag on this green line down here, you can see that we get a bounce. And of late, we've had a bounce, another bounce also. But overall, let's just see what happens in the S&P 500. And I'm hoping that that nasty pattern doesn't play out, but it looks to me like the S&P 500 is starting to form a top. And we could be looking at an overall correction in the markets later October, early to mid-November. We'll definitely keep our eye on the S&P, and we'll have plenty of warning as to a pullback on the asx200. So guys, thanks very much for watching. If you haven't been to the website and signed up to the newsletter, I suggest you do. I actually done an article last night on that very subject. So feel free to pop past the website, join the forum, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another free daily market update.